This weekend sees Formula One return to Sin City for the first time since 1982. The street circuit will see the likes of Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton rip down the iconic Las Vegas Strip in Nevada, past Madison Square Garden, Caesar's Palace, the Venetian, and Gabriel Bonglahor's...
What about the Cosmo?
Yeah,
Encore,
Aria.
the Win.
Oh, it's so good out there.
Stratosphere.
Been in all of them. We have been in all of them. But the first practice session took place overnight and had to be suspended after 8 minutes due to a dislodged manhole on the track. Eddie Jordan has come on the show to kindly talk about this incident. Morning, Eddie.
Good morning, Eddie.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Yeah, good. Not a very happy situation for Vegas, but nevertheless, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, does it happen though, Eddie? Because I mean, look, this is a major thing. They spent a lot of money on this. There's been huge hype around this Vegas the Grand Prix, and started off as a bit of a nightmare.
Well, absolutely. You know, you couldn't have a worse beginning for something. A lot of talk about it. The drivers have never been really happy about the situation. They think it's like a circus rather than a Grand Prix. It's been created for that reason, of course. The hype in America with Formula One is massive now. It's gaining huge traction. But, you know, we've already had 2 races. We have... Miami, we have Austin, and to have a third race, Las Vegas, I really, really think that it was pushing the boundaries. And sadly, at the moment, it could turn out brilliantly for them, but at the moment, it's not looking good. And what we have to think about with this manhole cover, it's not the first time. I remember 1983 in Macau in China, little Formula 3 cars. With the ground effects that these cars have, they can suck anything up. And a manhole cover just is not, even if they need to be welded down. And I can't believe the authorities or the race organisers hadn't checked this. And they must have. So something, I don't know what the current ground effect with a Ferrari or something like that must be absolutely massive. Because to be able to haul up a manhole cover unaided is something huge.
Eddie, I mean, look, they got a 4-mile strip of these manholes that they're going to have to obviously look at now, and they've obviously delayed the practice sessions, but surely they got to get on top of this quickly, right?
Well, yes, they will. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt that I think that the infrastructure and the quality of the people that they would have there looking after the track, first of all, they'll have to be re-welded. I'm absolutely sure. I can't believe that the race director would have allowed the practice to start in the beginning had the manhole covers not been secured to a certain level. But, you never know. Something gets missed or a bad weld or air in the, just a whole lot of sequence of different things can happen, and I'm not there, and I'm not privy to the information that they've got. Nevertheless, this is a serious safety issue. The time I talked to you about Macau in 1983, now how long ago is that? That's forever. That's 40 years ago. And that car was sliced in half. It was just like going through a big machine in a sawmill. It just sliced the car, and the danger to that driver was something enormous. So you can imagine what the trepidation that people are thinking about, what could happen, what might have happened. And of course, it was right to suspend it straight away, and they need to get on top of this.
For the fans that are listening, what's the circuit going to be like? Is it going to be easy to overtake? Is it going to be harder to overtake?
Well, this is something that a driver always thinks about. It's coming towards the end of the season. The season is already effectively, in my mind, one of the main reasons I'm not there is because the championship is over and Max Verstappen, I cannot believe that drivers will be... they all want to win, of course, and they soon, once they put the helmet on and they just click into it, suddenly everything else disappears. So they will be trying as hard as possible. So I can't believe that we won't get a good race out of it. But at the same time, there's a lot of situation about, we've already seen a notification to the stock exchange, a totally separate issue this, but nevertheless, Vegas has been a disaster in terms of $500 million loss so far. Idea had to be submitted to the stock exchange about the cost to the company Liberty that is put on this race. So, it has ramifications all the way through. Safety for the drivers, the circuit, the show, everything, but also the financial problems. Vegas, as we all know, you can do your head there and you can make a fortune. So I'm not sure who's going to come out on top.
Eddie, do you think it's been a bad idea then? Is that what you're saying, this Grand Prix?
No, I think, look, since Drive to Survive, which is a program and most people realise it's a television series, brilliant. And what happened, it opened the door, which is a good sign for sport generally, it opened the door for motor racing, which was primarily a minority sport in Europe 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And now it's just huge. And it's at the point of a precipice of gaining such traction, particularly in the States, over a long term. So I don't think it's a bad mistake. But I think it's possibly ill thought out that they didn't have, particularly when the world would be looking at Vegas, what is going to happen here? Traditionally, this is not a motor racing type of a town. It's here for a show. All the VIPs that will have been invited. Will you see the grid on Sunday? You will. It'll be a who's who in motor racing. It certainly won't be up in Sheffield Wednesday like you guys have been talking about earlier. It'll be a different story. Let me tell you that.
Martin Brundle's going to have some fun on the grid, isn't he?
If he can remember their names, anyway, because it's going to be a big job for Marty Brundle on that show. Yeah. Anyway, look, guys, let's keep our fingers crossed and hope. For sport's sake and for the interest of everybody concerned, let's hope it's a safe race and let's hope they can sort this out. Yeah,
Eddie. Just lastly, I'm a big fan of Formula 1. I like it. I enjoy it. Are we going to see Lewis Hamilton get back to winning ways? Is he going to get a car maybe next year or the year after where he can actually compete?
Well, I have to say that the signs are good, and I feel exactly like what you've just described there. We need somebody, in the interest of fair play, of competition, we need somebody to take the Max Verstappen, because Max Verstappen, let no one be in any doubt about this, that he is superhuman. I mean, he's in a different league at this stage. Yeah. And, the great Michael Schumacher, the great Senna, we talked about Lewis Hamilton just there, 7 times world champion. But, the signs are at the moment, if Adrian Newey can keep this design going ahead with Christian Horner in Red Bull, honestly, they could reach 10 at this stage if he can keep the interest intact. But Lewis Hamilton, I saw big signs of improvement. Yes, there was a disappointment of disqualifying. I think, was that Austin? Yes, I think it was. But the car has improved. And I think Lewis has suddenly found his mojo again, and he's on a roll. And I just love seeing the way he attacks the race. And I want to see a big fight, because if Max thinks he can get away from Lewis, I think he's mistaken, because Lewis in a big fight situation, he is a daunting prospect, and I would like to see the two of them wheel to wheel. It would be magic for everybody.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.